Hi guys, so it's been a really long time since I haven't posted anything, and I'm so sorry for that, but I have to be honest, truthfully, this last couple of months, so much things happened in my life, and I was feeling so overwhelmed by, academic pressure and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm so sorry for this really long break, but I'm so glad I'm finally back, and for this kind of comeback video, I wanted to talk about a topic that personally I kind of struggle with and still struggle with today, which is like how to become confident without becoming a completely different person. So, just a disclaimer, I wanted to say I'm not a perfect person. I'm still working on this, and there's still so much things that I don't know, so much things that I'm still growing and learning about. So, yeah, don't take all my advice for granted. Advice I would give to my past self and to kind of anyone who's struggling with this is just to stop waiting to feel confident, because truthfully, there will never be the perfect time, the perfect day where you're just going to be going outside, for instance, and you're going to feel 100% yourself. And yes, it happens. Everyone has good days, everyone has bad days. So there are necessarily times where you're going to be feeling better about yourself. But the truth is, you cannot just like hope for that click in to happen, because that spark is, at least for me, kind of rare. So it is kind of like working out. Sometimes you're going to be feeling motivated to work out, and other times you're just not going to, which is completely normal. So the thing is not about going in when you feel like it, but going in despite not feeling like it. It's consistency over motivation, and it's kind of the same thing. It's also important to know that confidence is not something that you're just going to be building up overnight. It's just not something that happens in the blink of an eye. It takes time, it takes dedication, and it also, it takes time because you also have to get to know yourself and who you are. And that kind of leads me to my second point, I would say, which is stop making other people's opinion your mirror. What I mean by that is, of course, it's okay to take advice from other people. It's okay to feel inspired by them and to, kind of yearn to achieve while what some people might have or what some people might do, and it's completely okay. What becomes a problem style is when you want to become a specific person when you know it's kind of impossible to be a specific person, and that's when you know that you have to know yourself and to accept yourself the way you are, and that it's okay not to be like everyone else. Everyone is different, and that's what makes us all unique. And I think that's such a great characteristic. Just putting yourself out there and letting yourself be you, not the version society or the people wants you to be, but the one person you want to be according to your values and your patterns, and also something that it's important I feel to say is people will always have something to say about you, whether it's a positive thing, but also unfortunately nowadays, especially with cyberbullying, a bad thing. And you're never going to be able to please everyone. So I think it's important we all realize that, and we all understand our worth, and we also get that our worth doesn't come from being the perfect person, because that truly is not something that's going to happen, because none of us are perfect, which is kind of a point I'm going to be driving in later in this video. So now my third advice would be let yourself be seen and be yourself. So I know this is hard, especially as an introverted person, but you still have to put yourself out there, because people are just not always going to come up your way and go talk to you and say, "Hi, how are you?" or like, "Oh, I admire your confidence so much," or like, "How are you that way?" I mean, that would be really great if that happened, but the truth is that does not usually happen that way. So, you really have to get out of your comfort zone, which is super hard, I guess that, but you don't have to like go talk to a bunch of people when you don't want to necessarily. You can start it slowly. For instance, if you're at school, instead of just going to talk with like this big popular group of people who are like so afraid of, why don't you just go talk to that one girl or that, like, that, I don't know, four people group of friends who seems to be pretty chill and kind. The goal is not to like scare yourself out there, but it's just to really try to make friends and just to be seen by who you are, because sometimes it's not that people do not like you, but it's that people do not sorry, people do not know you. And it's also important, kind of leads me to think that you do not have to seek validation from other people, which is kind of what I told early on. um yes, that's great to have other people saying that you know they like you, which is great. Everyone wants to be complimented once or twice, but it's also important you learn to distinguish yourself from other people, because sometimes even the people we think we are the closest with one day will go out of our lives, sorry. And something that I really like to tell myself is, some people are just going to be there for a chapter of a season of your life, and then they're going to be going, and it's supporting you let people go. And that along the way, you learn that the only person who you can stay true to yourself, of course, family, friends, but also yourself. So without being selfish, I think that's also something you should consider. And that kind of leads me to my kind of last point. So for advice, who is like being confident does not mean being perfect. That's something like we need to realize, especially like when we see all those like bully people, for instance, at school or at work, or all of those people who try everything to plan your failure. And it's important to understand that those people are not perfect. They're also flawed, even if they are more liked by more people than yourself. But it's also important to return the logic and to understand that they are not perfect, we are not perfect, no one is perfect, everyone struggles, everyone has a past. I feel it's really important we are empathetic, we are kind towards each other, and we respect each other, and we forgive each other even when it's hard, because I think that's just make us better people. Just learning to let go. And yeah, just understanding that you can feel confident, you can be confident, but still accept your flaws, still accept that you make mistakes, you're a human being, which we all are, and that is okay. We all learn along the way, along the time we live. Honestly, there's always an age when, like, we never stop truly learning. That's what my grandmother usually says. And yeah, I feel like she's so wise for saying that, because I feel like as long as we are alive, there's always going to be something we don't know or that we quite don't get. And it's kind of impossible to understand everything or to have everything figured out. And it's also really hard to just accept your body or the way you think or the way you are, because, we are kind of so like shaped by beauty norms of society. For instance, I was like reading like a couple of weeks ago a book called The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison, which I had to read for school, but I really recommend that book because although it's a pretty hard and like sad and dark book, I really think that it highlights the bad patterns of our like modern society, and especially in the 1940s, which was like the period the book talks about. But yeah, it really like made me realize how beauty standards impact us as a society, and how important it is, if you want to feel confident, to let go of them and to learn what is best for you, what works best for your personal person, because we are all different, and I feel it's really important to just learn what works for you. So yeah, that was kind of it all. I'm so sorry if this video was too short, too long, if my vocabulary was not perfect. It's been such a long time since I haven't, talked to a camera, so it feels a little bit weird to me, but I just tried my best. And I'm also so sorry for always be saying the same words. For instance, I'm always saying like, which is something I'm trying to work on, but please don't clip me and say, oh, she's always saying, oh, like, I'm trying to work on that and other, like, things I also, like, things I also say, but just please be empathetic And yeah, I'm really so happy to be back. And if you have any questions, or if you just want to talk in the comments about your insecurities and what personally helps you grow as a person and become more confident and more yourself, feel free to do it. But just all help each other, because I also think that community and friendships and just like even talking online can really help change people's lives sometimes, and it can really open our eyes and help us to become a better version of ourselves. So yeah, thank you so much for everything. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and comment. That means the world to me. And yeah, I'm so sorry if I yapped for too long. Bye.